Kong Skull Island is directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts, written by Dan Gilroy, Max Borenstein, and Derek Connolly. It's based on the character of King Kong who first appeared in 1933 in the film directed by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoedsack, and this movie stars Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly, Samuel L. Jackson, and John Goodman. And Kong Skull Island is about a group of explorers who travel to an uncharted island for very different reasons and end up angering an enormous ape called Kong. Now, I don't think it's a spoiler to say this, but Kong Skull Island is the second film in what's eventually going to be a shared universe between Godzilla and King Kong, and I really like that idea, so I wanted to watch this film and see how they could, add to that world. And Kong Skull Island is a film that is clearly built around visual spectacle and entertaining action, but there is, once again, just absolutely nothing beneath the surface. Let's cut right to the chase. If you're interested in seeing this movie, you're gonna watch it for Kong, and when you see Kong, it is worth it. I just found it really interesting, and just all the aspects about Kong from his creature design, because I like that they designed him to be more like a giant man than an ape. The CGI they use on him really brings him to life, and the CGI for all the creatures on Skull Island is really convincing. The location itself, wherever they filmed, is beautiful, and the cinematography from Larry Fong surprisingly gets really artistic at times. And all the action involving Kong is inventive and has a great sense of scale, similar to Godzilla and Pacific Rim. There are some scenes of horror as well that Jordan Vogt-Roberts really pulls off quite well, that I wanted more of them. However, when the movie focuses on the human beings, it becomes seriously dull and you feel nothing for them. The humans here are cut up into three groups for the most part, and the way the movie jumps from one subplot to another is pretty messy. The editing here from Richard Pearson, it works when there's exciting action going on and moments of suspense, but otherwise the editing never really helps tell the story or immerse us in this world of Skull Island. It's a well sound designed movie for the most part. Kong is a thunderous presence when he's on screen, and the skull crawlers, which are like Kong's main enemies, are freaky just in how they sound. There's a lot of Vietnam War era songs in this movie, which I'm always fine with because I like, that kind of music. However, the way they're used here, it reminded me of Suicide Squad. It reminded me of how, they just feel shoehorned in and they don't actually go well with each scene. But the biggest problem that Kong Skull Island has is the fact that you really just don't care about anything that goes on in this movie beyond it being shallow entertainment. The characters are all generic and boring, the plot wants to be way too many things, and so it doesn't impress in any aspect. The world itself, while beautiful to look at, just doesn't feel rich, it doesn't have any substance to it. And while the movie does attempt to explore some deeper themes, they just fall laughably flat. Fortunately, this whole cast does bring their A-game, but the standouts here are John C. Reilly, who brings a surprisingly human side to what could have been a really bland comic relief character, and then Samuel L. Jackson, who isn't just phoning it in this movie and really gives off this rage that is palpable and always entertaining to watch. In the end, Kong Skull Island is just okay. Once again, it was one of those blockbusters that feels like filler before the main summer season and before like the awards contenders or whatever. So I can't recommend it to everybody. However, I am excited for the eventual crossover between Godzilla and King Kong. I think they set up the two monsters pretty well. And I'm still crossing my fingers for a possible crossover with Pacific Rim because I think that's gonna be incredible. It's the same studio, so why not? Alright, so those are my thoughts on Kong Skull Island. If you guys have seen it, please tell me what you thought about it. And whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.